All right. All right, I got that. Sounds good. All right, I'm getting some private messages. Awesome. All right, guys. So yeah, coming to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. And starting to just drop down, close your eyes. Looking down at the ground or your legs or, kind of whatever's comfortable for you. But if closing your eyes works, that's great. You don't need to see me for the next couple minutes. Just starting to wind down. I mean, I know it's morning. Again, for some of you, it's like 7 a.m. But for those of us that have been up early and have had a whole morning already by 10 o'clock now, just let all of that go, whatever's happening and whatever will be happening, and just coming right to this place, right here, centered in your body. And again, this session is about listening. So first, just start by listening to your breath. I'm saying like listen like 2 times more than you usually do, 10 times more, whatever. So little nuances, listening to those. Even if there's sounds around you, just go ahead and listen to those and just being aware of them without judgment or thinking about them, just listening. Again, listening to the breath now as it comes in and flows down through the throat, the lungs, the belly, and exhaling out. Listening to the breath is the first step, so that the next step can be listening to the body. And in every pose, really taking that time to listen to what the body might need in that pose. Maybe it's about going further. Maybe it's about straightening up a little. Maybe it's about easing up a little. And it can be different in every pose. So just taking that time to breathe that awareness into the listening of your breath, of your body in each pose, in each moment. While you're here, start to release the hips down to the ground, the knees down, the tailbone descending down, pulling the belly in towards the back and the back in towards the belly, and lengthening up through the shoulder blades, the back of the neck. And those of you that carry a lot of tension in your neck, try to release the shoulders away from the ears, but just lightly, not like pressing them down like someone's pressing on them. Just start to breathe, releasing that exhale through the shoulders, creating some space between the shoulders and the ears. Keeping the chin parallel to the ground. That helps to keep the back of the neck long. Good. On an inhale, swoop the arms out to the side, up to the sky, bringing the hands together at heart center. Taking a moment here to bow to yourself, honoring yourself and this practice. Again, telling yourself that you will stay aware of what your body needs today. Cultivating that listening to yourself and your needs. And inhale the arms up to the sky, exhale back down. And somebody just came in here and it looks like they're not muted. So if you came in, if you could mute yourself, that would be awesome. I don't know how to mute everybody. All right, so at this place, whatever leg is in front, bring that back behind you. Or back, switch them. So whatever is in front, bring it back, not back behind you. We could do that some other time. But for now, here we are. So we're just kind of switching it up, right? I think with yoga too, it's all about figuring out what patterns you have and changing those up. So just for a moment here, hanging out here, bringing your hands onto your knees. And again, we'll start with the chest or heart center coming forward. On an exhale, we're going to swoop around to your left. Coming back is our exhale. The inhale brings you forward. Good. And this is just opening up the hips. We carry so much in the hips, whether we're actually carrying children or things, or we just carry a lot of tension in the hips. So this opens that up. Someone was asking me once, like, what's some like yoga pose I can do every day? And one thing I said is just sitting on the ground instead of in chairs or couches. If you're just kind of hanging around, if you're reading something or watching TV or chatting with people or something, just sitting on the ground really opens up the hips. All right, next time you come forward is the inhale. The exhale is going to swoop you around now to your right. Again, listening to your body and seeing if there's any stuck places that you feel like you need to, release a little more or work on a little more, whether it's right now in this practice or, throughout the day, doing a couple more circles as you're sitting on the floor instead of in a chair. Good. Next time your chest is forward, go ahead and release your hands to the ground. Maybe walk your arms forward a little bit more. Breathing down over those hips, lengthening through the back of the neck, through the shoulder blades. And then walking or gliding your hands back towards your legs. Once you come to sitting, just check in again that the bottoms of the ribs are pulled up off your hips, the belly and the spine come in towards each other, and release your legs out and open. So you're not in a full split, but whatever that looks like for you. If you want to get into a full split, go for it. Or if your legs are, 2 inches apart, whatever that looks like. We're just going to do another hip opener here. Going to bring the arms out to the sides. Good. Hanging out here for a moment. Now it feels kind of awkward and there's a lot going on, but we're pressing the feet away from us like you're standing on, if there's walls across from you. You're pressing the feet away, you're engaging the thighs, that's opening up the hamstrings. Good, the belly is trying to pull into the spine, and then release the shoulders away from the ears. Those of you that are talking about neck stuff that I'm getting some text about, this is, just that simple action of squeezing the shoulder blades together, dropping it down the back, starts to open up the neck. You don't want to force it down because that's just going to increase that the tension in the neck. So we're kind of releasing the arms. Good, and let's just flow. So we're going to exhale, twist over towards the left leg. Inhale comes back to center. Exhale to the right leg. Whatever that looks like, I like to think about the fact that the body is 70% water, just like the earth. And imagining that the water in you is just kind of flowing and moving for you, right? Instead of your muscles doing the work, it's like the water is just whooshing and then switching direction. Good. Next time you get to the left side, we're going to hold the twist. So once you get to the left side, the left arm comes down. The right arm can go maybe on the leg if you can do that, whatever that looks like. And what you're thinking about is that right leg, since you're over the left leg, the right leg is still kind of opening up and pressing the foot away from you. You'd have a tendency to kind of take that right hip and bring it in. But what we're trying to do is really open up the thighs here. So as you're hanging out here, just breathing into this twist and really bringing the breath down into the belly. Next inhale, the arms are going to come back up, swooping, swooshing you around over to the right side. The right hand goes down to the ground, and then the left hand maybe on the leg. And then thinking about that left leg is still opening it up. The knee is kind of pointing up to the ceiling, pressing the left foot away. Breathing into the belly as you hold the twist. Releasing the shoulders, releasing any tension in the jaw. Awesome. Inhale the arms, come back up to center. Good, and release the hands down. Bringing the hands back behind you, pressing the fingertips into the ground. Slowly glide the legs together. You can kind of pick them up off the ground if you want, or if you need to slide along the ground, that's great. There we are, and then we're gonna swoop onto our feet. We're gonna head into cat and cow for a moment, but if you can do a little squat here, this is really good for ankles, toes. I always think about how, you know, if you need to stay on your hands, that's cool, or if this is just not feeling good for you, go ahead right onto your hands and knees. But I think about how people in the rice fields walk on their feet, and this is how they are, you know, in the rice fields. Anyway, I just think it's a really fun thing to tell people to walk up and down their mat like this, but you don't have to. But it's a fun thing. So that's the other thing. Sit on the ground, and then if you have to get something, walk as you're in a squat. Okay, into hands and knees. So here we are. The hands are underneath the shoulders. The knees are right underneath the thighs. Good, I'll turn sideways here, and just for a moment, cat and cow, so the back goes up to the sky, tucking the belly in, dropping the head down. That's our inhale. The exhale, the belly drops down to the ground, and the head tries to touch the tailbone. Good, just 2 more of those. Inhale up, pressing the fingertips down and the tops of the toes down. And exhale, the belly comes down, twisting the crown of the head to the tailbone, and one more time. Inhale the back up to the sky, and release down, exhale. Good, coming to flat back here, and let's take the right leg back, and just for a moment, you're going to kind of be on the toes, and just stretching the calf open here, again, pressing into the fingertips. The reason why you want to be on the fingertips is there's less pressure on the heel of the hand. And a lot of us can get a lot of, you know, kind of carpal tunnel, tight wrists. So really pressing here through the ankle, through the heel. Good. And then keeping the left arm where it is, we're going to twist open, taking the right arm up to the sky. I have my right foot down to the ground to really ground me. Good, so the goal is pressing strongly through that left arm and the right arm straight up to the sky. I can't see everybody's video right now, so I can't tell, but the goal is to try to have like one straight line from the left fingertips to the right fingertips. Good, and keeping the left side, so imagine that someone's taking your left ribs and pulling them up just a little bit more so that we're not sagging down. Good, a little balance pose here. Awesome. Inhale, open up a little bit more, heart center up to the sky, and then exhale, the hands down to the ground. And then cat and cow for the transition. So the back goes up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, belly. And then back to flat back. Good, and then the same thing, the left leg is gonna go back and kind of stretching open here. All right, I think somebody is unmuted or maybe unmuted themselves, unless that's my computer. So if you find that you're unmuted, go ahead and mute yourself. And then the right hand is going to come to the ground here, and then the left foot kind of grounds down, opens up, left arm up to the sky. And once again, you're trying to make this super straight line from the left hand up to the, or the right hand up to the left hand. Good, the bottoms of the right ribs pulling up. It's really opening and extending here, pressing into the fingertips. Nice. Checking in with your neck again here. So you could look up to the sky, you could look straight out. If it's comfortable to look down, whatever is comfortable for your neck, because what we're really working on is stretching the sides here and a little bit of a balance pose. So whatever feels good for the neck. Listening to your body, right? Listening to what your neck needs. Awesome. And release the hand down. Cat and cow for the transition. We'll do it one more time on each side. You need to shake the wrists out or shake the hands out. You can do that here. And then whenever you're ready, the left hand's going to stay where it is. The right leg goes back. The right arm comes up. And then here is an extra step if you want to do this. So you can stay here, or you can take that right arm, the one that's up to the sky, and the exhale tucks it under the left armpit, essentially, and then the right arm comes back up. That's the inhale. So that's just a little bit of movement here if you choose to do that. But if you want to stay in a place where you're just holding the pose, you may do that. Do whatever feels right for you, movement or holding it steady. I love balance poses because there's all those little tiny micro movements in the body that they're like, I'm trying to hold you steady, I'm trying to hold you steady, you know, and you're just kind of working with all those little pieces. All right. If you're moving, go ahead and come back up to the top, open up again, heart center up to the sky, and then meeting both hands back down together, both knees down, cat and cow for the transition. Shake out the wrists if you need to. Good. And then we'll have the right hand down to the ground, the left leg goes back, and open up. Good. The left arm up to the sky, the left foot down. Good. And you can stay here, or if it works for you, again, the movement is bringing that left hand under the right armpit. Inhale, swooping up, and you're just finding your breath. Good. Awesome. Looking good. Good. Yeah, I usually do this on a computer and my phone because my phone shows the best video for you guys, but then the computer, I get to see everybody else, and I don't have the computer right now, so that's why I have to check every once in a while, go up and zoom through you guys and see. All right, so looking good. Once you're here, the arm stays up to the sky, open up any amount, heart center up to the sky. Good, and then coming back down. And you can either stay here in cat and cow, you can drop back into child's pose. So child's pose is bringing your hips to your heels. You can do wide-legged child's pose. The arms come down to the ground. Whatever works for you. Or if you're like, I feel like keeping my energy up, then you can go ahead right into down dog. And we'll stay in whatever pose that you're in for about 3 breaths. So again, child's pose, cat cow, downward facing dog. Awesome, you guys are looking great. I see there's some people that have extra weight on their back in child's pose. i.e. a child on you in child's pose. Yep. Love that. All right, people, you're doing great. So take another moment to, as you're just here, I'll be quiet here for a moment and just listen again to your body and what it needs right now. And we're going to head into doing some sun salutations. So wherever you are, transitioning into downward facing dog, and I'll start the sun salutation slow, and then we'll pick it back up a little bit. So when you get to down dog, again, your hands are spread apart, each finger spread as wide as it can, pressing into the fingertips, and the toes are down to the ground. Maybe bend the knees a little bit to bring the hips up to the sky, and then straighten the legs. The head relaxes and releases down, shaking it yes or no. And then again, the shoulder blades are actually trying to go down the back, which means they're headed for the hips, which seems like they're going up right now because you're upside down, So imagine that again helps to open up the neck. For those of you with tight necks, this is a good one where you can shake the head yes or no, and you're just really releasing the neck, allowing it to hang down. And the belly comes into the spine into the belly. Stretching here as well as you can. And then on an exhale, jumping or walking the feet to the hands. And here we are in forward fold. On an inhale, swooping the arms out and up, coming in to mountain pose, hands up, bringing them down to heart center. And taking a moment here to press the hands in towards heart center, the toes down, the heels down, pulling the arches of the feet up, releasing the tailbone down to the ground, but bringing the spine up, up, up through the crown of the head, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And taking a moment to listen to your breath. And sun salutations, we're saluting the day, right? So again, whether it's 7:30 in the morning where you are in Idaho, or it's 10:30 here on the East Coast. I think that's what I have. I have East Coast and way west. So wherever you're at, we're just greeting the day. And here you can kind of set an intention for what you want your day to feel like. How deeply maybe that you want to listen today. And as we set that intention, we're going to inhale up to the sky, kind of giving that intention up, and exhale, diving forward, forward fold. Hands come onto the thighs to inhale up halfway, keeping the back nice and long. Exhale, coming back down. Hands to the ground, feet walker jump back to down dog. And then moving here, shoulders above the wrists. Good. Here we are in plank. And then lowering yourself down, the belly to the ground. Keeping the bottom of the ribs on the mat for a moment. So we're in cobra. So just a slight back bend. Just work this for a moment, stretching the legs back. Kind of pick them up and pull them back like someone's behind me pulling them back. And the pinky toe, the top of the pinky toe, the toenail even, is pressing into the ground. The heart center is up and extended out. The back of the neck is long. Releasing tension around the eyes, around your jaw. And just feeling this pose. So when we get into it while we're moving a little bit more quickly, you can come back into this kind of stable place. If you want to go further, you press the hands into the ground, picking you up, but all the while, if you see my shoulders are still down the back and like keeping them down, right? So I have a lot of openness in my neck. And you can even go on your toes and come up a little bit more. This is upward facing dog. So these are all options for back bends. So wherever you're at, whatever you want to do, go there, and then we'll meet back in down dog. So the toes down, hips up. I like to jump my feet. So if you want to try it, jump the feet towards the hands. You can do a couple jumps if you need to, and then swoop the arms out and up. Hands to heart center. Listening to your breath. All right, so picking up the pace here. Inhale up, giving thanks for the day as we exhale, dive forward. Inhale halfway and back down. Hands to the ground, feet walker jump, down dog. The plank, finding that strength as you gently lower yourself down, coming into your back bend, whatever that looks like to you, and then back into down dog. Feet walker jump, forward fold. Nice. Inhale, swoop out and up. Hands to heart center. Take a moment to listen. Inhale up, giving thanks and diving forward. Inhale halfway. Keeping that energy up, come back down, the hands to the ground, feet walker jump, down dog. Shoulders above the wrists. Lowering yourself strongly. And then back bend, cobra, up dog, whatever works for you, back into down dog. And feet walker jump, forward fold. hang out here for a moment now. Hold on to your elbows if that works for you. You can grab onto your calves, whatever kind of works for you to release your head down. This is another good one for the neck. So whatever works for you. Again, if you tend to hyperextend, keep a bend in the knees. I sometimes even like kind of grab onto the edges of my jaw. I'm not actually pulling my head down, but it's just kind of giving extra pressure. That really releases the spine to release the neck. All right, swoop out and up. Inhale. Exhale to heart center. Listening to your breath. All right, taking a moment here, keeping the left leg where it is. We're going to bring the right leg back into a lunge. Yeah, okay. So the left knee is right over the ankle and the right leg is back, and find, a base that feels really strong for you here. So maybe you have to widen the legs a little bit, like outward, side to side of your mat, or maybe even widening them or like lengthening them the long ways of your mat, and trying to get the hips to face forward. We're just opening up the front hip here. So you can stay here if this feels good enough for you. If you want to increase the energy, twist the shoulders open first. So that's the other thing, is sometimes when we bring the arms up, you'll notice like if you bring them up, then your neck is kind of constricted, but if you twist them open first and then bring them up, there's a little bit more space. That's another little thing to think about for those of you that have tight necks. So again, staying here a couple breaths and listening to what your body needs. And it might be saying like, get out of the pose, it's too much, but maybe you're also listening and thinking, okay, let me just hold it, one more breath, right? So that's the balance of it, is finding that whenever you're like, am I moving through my comfort zone or not? Just taking that time to breathe. Let's do a little movement here. So leaning forward, extending out from the back of the right heel, out through the fingertips here. Still keeping that left knee right over the ankle. I know it's hard. Okay, go ahead and drop the hands down around the left foot. Woo, yeah, left foot back to meet the right. If you could bring that left leg that was up in front back behind you, opening up, just playing with this. You could play with down dog, bending one knee, stretching the other. And then both feet come back up towards the hands. And inhale, swoop out and up. Good. Releasing the hands down, and then this time keeping the right leg where it is and the left leg goes back. So same thing, just kind of playing with it. How far apart do you want your like the width? They should be right across from your hips. But if you feel like you need a little bit wider of a base today, go for it. How wide or long do you want them to be? The main thing is since you're putting pressure on your right knee right now, make sure that it's right over the ankle and not beyond it, because then you can really, really hurt the knee, and that is not a fun joint to hurt. All right, opening up that left hip, tuck the tailbone a little bit. If you feel like your butt's kind of sticking out, tuck it just a little bit, just little tiny tweaks like that. To increase the energy, twist open your shoulders and up to the sky. And again, just breathing here. Know that your legs are strong enough to hold you, even if they're shaking and you're feeling it like, woo. But again, if you want to release your arms, if you're listening to your body, that's what it's telling you, go for it. If you want to go further, we're going to stretch out over the right leg. The left heel extends out and away, and the fingertips stretch out and away in opposite. Ooh, doing great. All right, release the hands down around the right foot back to meet the left. Down dog. Maybe the right leg comes up to the sky or twists open. Just kind of having fun here. Bending one knee, stretching the other, whatever works for you. And then both feet come to the hands. Forward fold. Actually, let's stay here again, holding on to the elbows maybe, or the hands by the neck, by the jaw, holding on to the feet or the calves. Just we don't spend enough time upside down, and we should. All right, and swoop your arms out and up. And the hands to heart center. And let's just take a moment here. Again, pressing the toes down, the heels down, pulling the arches up. The tailbone descending. The spine, one vertebrae after the other, lengthening up. Imagining there's a string in the center of the crown of your head pulling you up, and the shoulder blades release down and away from the ears. Release your hands at your sides. And we're going to move into tree pose. So putting all your weight and energy on your left foot. I like to take the right foot out, move it around, shake around, because I know that I'm going to be moving in this pose. Yep. Cool. And then twist open. So the positions for the foot could be on the ground, it could be on the calf, it could be above the knee, but the only place to not put it is on the knee. Because if you put too much pressure on it and you fall to one side, again, I had like a major ski accident with my knee, so I'm like super, super cautious about the knee, but you need to be cautious anyway. All right, so here you are in tree. I'm gonna be quiet here in a moment, but bring your hands wherever you want to. Heart center, up to the sky. Maybe you wanna move them like leaves. Maybe you need to hold on to something to keep you stable. That's okay. And again, just breathing here, breathing into the foot that is down on the ground, knowing that it's all a work in progress. Awesome. I know some of you guys did this last time we did it, so if you want, you can stay here or bring the arms forward and the leg back behind you. Warrior 3. Let's meet back in mountain pose. I love coming back to mountain and just feeling how easy it is to stand on both feet. So the toes down, heels down, again, the arch is up. And yeah, I was talking to a client recently, or a yoga student recently, about how I've actually helped create arches in my feet just by kind of giving attention to them and having that intention that I'm pulling the arches up and like pulling up through the calves. My feet can be super flat, but like, you can create those arches. Believe it or not, take some time. You know, while you're standing around doing dishes or something, just think about your arches. All right, so release your hands at your side, bring the energy and weight onto the right leg, and the left leg opens up and twirls around. And just, you know, you're thinking about those little micro movements with your right foot. The toes are helping to balance and the heel and all that. And then twist open. And maybe this side's different than the other one. Maybe this one, the leg wants to go lower. Maybe it wants to go higher. Maybe you want to look at a different spot. Maybe you want to look at something that moves or something that's stable. Again, whatever works for you, wherever your hands want to go. Just taking your time to be. And if you want to, you can go a little further, like we did before. So that left leg goes back and the arms come forward, warrior 3. Finding your breath here. And release the hands, release the leg, swoop out and up, hands to heart center. Inhale up and dive forward, exhale, forward fold. Good, hands to the ground, the shins come to the ground, rocking back into child's pose here, stretching the arms forward, the head comes down to the ground. If the head doesn't touch the ground, then you can bring the arms back and stack the hands in a way because you want your neck again to be comfortable in this one. Taking a couple breaths here as we're just about ready to transition to our floor poses. Good, just taking your time. All right. And swooping around. Good, we're just do a couple poses here onto our backs. So whenever you're ready, you can roll down onto your back, bring your knees towards your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, and gently rock side to side. Bringing your knees back onto your chest and your arms at your side. Go ahead and stretch the legs up to the sky. So as best you can, imagine that you're kind of standing on the ceiling, whatever that looks like to you. Just engaging the thighs to open up the hamstrings. Knowing that this is a really great pose if you're up, your legs can be up against a wall, or they could be on a couch or something, but this is a really restorative, relaxing pose. It can also be like that with your legs just, holding them up here, but especially if they're leaning up against something. So if it's ever been a really stressful day, or there's a lot of stress going on in life, in the world, this is a really good one to kind of, at any point of the day, but obviously to end the day with. Legs up the wall again, or up on a couch or something. And this is a good one for the neck too, that just allows the neck to kind of relax and release here. All right, and then from here, pressing your arms into the ground, and you can lower each leg at a time or both at the same time, releasing the legs to the ground. And here you are coming into our final resting pose. So you don't really need to see me right now because you're just in this final Shavasana pose. So find whatever feels comfortable to you to release your shoulders to the ground. Release your hips to the ground. And again, taking this time to just listen. Listen to your breath moving in. Maybe just follow it wherever it's going in the body. Releasing any tension that you're holding in the shoulders, down through the hips. Through the ankles, the toes. Again, this Shavasana is all about integrating everything else that we've done in the yoga practice. So it's, it's the ultimate restorative pose. It's like during your sleep when your organs, kind of recreate themselves and rejuvenate as well. A lot of healing happens. So that's what this pose is all about, is allowing that healing to happen. Good. And just bringing your awareness back into your breath if it's gone away. And allowing the breath to gently come in through the nose or the mouth, and just start to watch it or notice it move down through the throat, the lungs, the belly, expanding and opening. Exhale, releasing. Allowing it to come in, open, expand, knowing that every inhale is new breath, new prana, new oxygen, anything new that you want. Just breathe that in. And anything that you don't want, exhale and release that. And on your next inhale, swoop the arms. So moving them out to the sides, back behind you so the arms are by your ears, and lengthening your fingertips away from the tips of your toes. Good, nice, long, super stretch. Awesome. And then at the same time, bringing your knees towards your chest and your arms to meet your knees, wrapping your arms around your knees and allowing yourself to rock again side to side. Rolling onto one side like you're curled up in bed, particularly your left side, because that's best for digestion. And just hanging out there for a moment and allowing yourself to, again, let go. Call this the compost pose. So anything that you want to let go and give away, give to the earth, whatever that looks like, just kind of give that away, let it go, release. And then with your next inhale, taking a nice strong inhale to gracefully guide you back up to your final seated position. Just kind of checking in here, noticing how maybe you feel different than when you first started. With every moment we change and we really are different, but particularly when you're giving it some focused attention or intention, we've changed. We're different than we were in the beginning of the practice. On an inhale, swoop the arms out to the side, up to the sky, hands to heart center. Just giving yourself this moment to honor and acknowledge that you will listen to what your needs are for the day. Whether your body is asking for it, or your soul is asking for it, or your mind, whatever it is that's calling out to you, know that you can listen deeper, and give your body what it needs. Give yourself what it needs. And thanks for giving yourself this yoga practice today. And I'm so grateful that I get to guide you all through this practice. Yeah, it's so fun to see so many people that I know from all different places come on here. So thank you so much. Namaste.